Today we are going to dive into the world of Stoic philosophy to uncover the 10 most powerful habits capable of resolving the vast majority of problems you face in daily life. These habits may appear simple, but their effectiveness in building inner peace and genuine resilience is extraordinary. Each one addresses not just a symptom, but a root cause. Together, they form the foundation of the Stoic approach to living, the same principles practiced by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and the same principles that remain as relevant and practical today as they were 2,000 years ago. The goal of this video is to show you how implementing these Stoic practices can genuinely transform the quality of your daily experience. Are you ready to begin? Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new video on Stoicism and personal growth. And now, let's start. Habit 1. Practice self-control. Stoicism teaches that managing your own emotions and reactions is the most essential foundation of inner peace and sound judgment. In a world where stress and unexpected situations can arrive at any moment, the ability to stay calm and think clearly is an extraordinary advantage. Self-control means not allowing emotions to govern your behavior. When we surrender to panic or react from raw feeling, our decisions become impulsive and poorly considered. We get drawn into conflicts we could have avoided, make mistakes we would not have made with a cooler head. Learning to govern your reactions helps you sidestep these costly outcomes and maintain a constructive approach to whatever comes. Developing self-control begins with regular self-observation, honestly noticing your emotional states before they take over. Meditation, quiet reflection, and honest self-analysis all support this. In moments of stress or irritation, the Stoic practice is simple. Stop, breathe deeply, and give yourself time to assess the situation before reacting. This creates a pause between what happens and how you respond. And inside that pause lives your actual power. Self-control also benefits your relationships. When you stay composed and govern your reactions, you naturally create a calmer and more productive environment around you. People trust the person who remains steady, and that steadiness is contagious. Over the long term, the practice of self-control develops a deep internal strength and confidence. The more consistently you train this capacity, the more capable you feel of handling difficulty, and the more you trust yourself to respond wisely rather than react blindly. Habit 2. Focus only on what you can control. In a world of constant uncertainty, Stoicism teaches one of its most liberating principles. Concentrate only on the aspects of life that are genuinely within your power. This single shift in orientation can dramatically reduce stress and anxiety. Many of us spend enormous amounts of time and energy on things that are completely outside our influence. Other people's behavior, global events, outcomes we cannot determine. This expenditure of energy rarely produces anything useful, and it often heightens the sense of anxiety and helplessness. Stoicism redirects that energy. Focus on what you can actually change: your daily habits, your personal standards, your response to challenges, your attitude toward any given situation. When you concentrate here, you begin to experience a genuine sense of effectiveness and competence, qualities that are essential to inner peace. This practice also builds resilience and adaptability. When you accept that some things simply are not within your control, you stop wasting resources trying to force the uncontrollable. You become more agile, more efficient, and more capable of directing your attention toward what genuinely has a chance of changing. When you keep your focus on the controllable, you stop being a passive observer of your own life. You become an active participant. You begin to see opportunities rather than obstacles. And that orientation toward possibility rather than limitation is one of the most powerful shifts a person can make. Habit 3. Develop inner resilience. Inner resilience is one of the cornerstones of Stoic practice. It is what allows us to face life's difficulties without losing our sense of direction. The first thing worth recognizing is the importance of honoring even small victories. Each progress, no matter how minor it appears, builds confidence and reinforces the motivation to keep working toward larger goals. Acknowledging your effort matters. The second component is accepting setbacks as part of the path. In Stoic philosophy, failure is never the final word. It is a source of learning and an opportunity for growth. Every setback opens new possibilities for self-improvement and prepares you for future challenges with more knowledge and more experience. With this perspective, you maintain your composure and sense of purpose even in genuinely difficult circumstances. Building inner resilience also requires consistent effort over time. Stoicism teaches us to meet hardship not as an enemy, but as part of our own development. When we begin actively working on our resilience, daily challenges begin to look different. Problems become opportunities for personal growth rather than barriers that stop us. This shift in perspective helps us meet unexpected situations with calm and purpose, and significantly reduces the negative impact of stress. True resilience does not mean the absence of emotion or indifference to what happens. It means learning how to govern your emotions and respond to challenges from a place of clarity rather than reaction. When you focus on what you can control and accept what lies beyond your reach, your responses become more measured, more effective, and more authentically yours. Habit 4. Meditate and reflect daily. Stoicism places enormous emphasis on living in harmony with yourself, and regular meditation and self-reflection are how you achieve that harmony. Meditation allows you to focus on the present moment and reduce the noise of the external world, which so often pulls you away from what genuinely matters. It is a simple but powerful tool for developing inner clarity and stillness. During meditation, you practice watching your thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them, creating a space between external stimulus and your internal response. This allows you to choose how to respond rather than simply be carried along. In that same practice, you can notice patterns of thinking or behavior that need attention, and noticing is always the first step toward change. Self-reflection works alongside meditation. By honestly analyzing your actions, decisions, and emotional responses, you identify your weak points and determine where genuine growth is possible. This helps you understand why you react in certain ways, and that understanding makes more conscious, more considered responses possible in the future. Regular reflection also helps you get clearer on your values and priorities. Together, these practices build the kind of self-knowledge the Stoics considered essential. Not self-knowledge as an intellectual exercise, but as the practical capacity to govern yourself more wisely each day. Remember that meditation and reflection are not instant solutions. They are processes that require time and patience. But through these daily practices, you build the inner harmony that underpins a successful and balanced life. Habit 5. Cultivate genuine gratitude. Stoicism consistently reminds us of the importance of appreciating what we already have, rather than fixating on what we lack. Gratitude for what is present helps us feel more genuinely satisfied and more resilient in the face of what is difficult. Gratitude is not simply saying thank you for specific things or events. It is, at its core, an inner orientation, the cultivated habit of noticing the positive in life, even in its smallest details. When we practice it consistently, we shift our attention from what is missing to what already exists. This changes how we perceive life, reduces stress and anxiety, and strengthens our psychological well-being. Implementing a gratitude practice in daily life can be straightforward and deeply rewarding. Keeping a journal where you record positive moments and small achievements is one of the most effective tools. It retrains your attention toward what is going right rather than what is going wrong. Over time, this builds a settled sense of contentment and inner calm. It also strengthens your ability to withstand life's difficulties, because you have trained yourself to find something worth holding on to, even in hard situations. Habit 6. Develop patience and endurance. Many of our most important challenges require time to resolve. In precisely those moments, patience becomes one of our most valuable allies. Stoicism teaches us to endure difficulty without losing faith in ourselves. Even when circumstances are at their hardest, patience helps us maintain calm and clarity when things go beyond our control. Rather than surrendering to frustration or panic, we can use those difficult periods for reflection and strategic thinking, asking ourselves what the situation requires and what the wisest next step is. The Stoic understanding of patience is not passive. It requires a conscious orientation toward difficulty, accepting it as part of the path rather than evidence that something has gone wrong. Every challenge we encounter is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Developing patience also means accepting that not everything can be under our control. It helps us remain steady even when circumstances seem to contradict our plans or desires, and that steadiness allows us to adapt and find new routes toward our goals. To build patience, keep your long-term goals clearly in view, and remain willing to accept that meaningful results take time. Practicing self-awareness and maintaining an honest perspective on what you can realistically expect today, while trusting the longer process, is the Stoic path here. And patience is not the same as inaction. It is active acceptance of challenges, combined with the willingness to keep working even when results are not yet visible. Practiced daily, in small moments, like waiting in line or navigating a misunderstanding, patience becomes one of the most reliable foundations of your inner stability. Habit 7. Practice simplicity. Stoicism calls us toward a life without excess, not as deprivation, but as clarification. When we simplify our life, we free our attention for what actually matters and eliminate much of the stress that comes from overcomplication. Living simply means reducing dependence on external circumstances and material accumulation. This can look like clearing unnecessary possessions from your environment, simplifying your schedule, removing commitments that no longer serve genuine priorities. When you free yourself from excessive obligations and noise, you create more space for what is actually important to you. Simplicity also helps reduce the anxiety that so often arises from managing too much at once. When you learn to value simple joys and find satisfaction in what you already have, you release yourself from the relentless pursuit of more things, more status, more stimulation. You begin to experience what the Stoics considered a genuine form of freedom, wanting less, and being more content with what is. Introducing simplicity into your life does not mean rejecting comfort. It means returning to basics that support genuine well-being, rather than drowning in complexity that generates stress without producing meaning. When your life becomes more ordered and simplified, you also become more adaptable. You respond to change more calmly, and you maintain your focus and clarity even under pressure. If this resonates with you, share a like and a comment. Your engagement helps this content reach more people who are looking for exactly this kind of depth. Habit 8. Pursue honesty and moral integrity. Stoicism teaches us to live in accordance with our own principles, to be honest with ourselves and with others. This is a foundational element of inner harmony and emotional well-being. Honesty is the basis of healthy relationships and genuine trust. When we live by our moral principles, we avoid the internal conflicts and ethical dilemmas that arise when we act against our own convictions. Being faithful to what you believe creates a foundation for self-confidence and provides a genuine sense of wholeness. Pursuing honesty also means being open to honest self-criticism and willing to acknowledge your mistakes. This is what allows genuine growth. Recognizing your limitations and failures is part of the self-improvement process. It helps you understand your own motivations more clearly and improves the quality of your relationships with others. Living by moral principles also generates a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. When you act with honesty, you do not merely reduce stress, you feel a genuine rightness in your own conduct. That internal alignment is one of the clearest forms of inner harmony. And over the long term, living with moral integrity builds the foundation for sustained success. Decisions and actions grounded in honesty create stable, trustworthy relationships, and those relationships open real doors. Habit 9. Manage your time with awareness. Stoicism teaches us to use time wisely, not to waste it on the trivial or the unnecessary. Time is our most precious resource, and every moment spent on what does not matter is a moment that cannot be recovered. To manage time effectively, start by genuinely understanding where it currently goes. The Stoics recommend creating a clear schedule and establishing priorities, focusing deliberately on the most important tasks and goals, rather than reacting to whatever demands your attention in the moment. This proactive planning ensures that your energy is directed toward what actually matters, rather than being scattered across whatever is loudest. Intentional time management also reduces the stress and anxiety that arise from constant rushing and unfinished work. When you have a clear plan and understand that your time is being spent on meaningful things, you feel more in control of your own life. You reduce procrastination because the path forward is clear. You avoid the crushing feeling of being overwhelmed because you have made conscious choices about what to take on. Time management also supports the balance between work and recovery. Stoicism emphasizes not only working toward your goals, but making genuine space for rest and self-reflection. When you allocate your time well, you ensure enough recovery to maintain real well-being and sustained productivity, rather than burning yourself out chasing results. At its core, conscious time management is the key to a successful and harmonious life. When you treat time as the finite, irreplaceable resource it is, everything you do begins to feel more intentional, morally, more yours. Habit 10. Commit to continuous self-improvement. In Stoicism, self-improvement is not simply the pursuit of personal advancement. It is the path to harmony and genuine peace. Consistent growth and deliberate development help us become more capable and more in command of our own lives, not just in terms of skills, but in the quality of our character and the depth of our understanding. The process begins with honest self-awareness, a clear-eyed recognition of your weaknesses and a genuine desire to work on them. Stoicism asks us to be honest with ourselves and to acknowledge our limitations. This can be uncomfortable. But it is this act of honest self-examination that makes real change possible. When you are open to constructive feedback and willing to learn from your own mistakes, you take decisive steps forward. Regular self-reflection helps you stay on course. Stoicism places great emphasis on ongoing refinement through conscious, deliberate living. This allows you to assess your progress honestly, adjust your approach when needed, and never settle for the comfortable plateau of what you have already achieved. Integrating self-improvement practices into daily life makes you not just more capable professionally, but more peaceful and satisfied internally. When you consistently work to develop your capacities, you maintain a sense of positive orientation and motivation, which makes you more effective at navigating whatever life brings. Stoicism highlights the development of moral qualities, honesty, wisdom, and genuine humility, as the path to alignment between your actions and your convictions. Through continuous self-improvement, you do not only develop skills, you cultivate the inner resilience and self-understanding that nothing external can take from you. The key is setting realistic, achievable goals, and remembering that self-improvement is a continuous process that requires both patience and persistence. By consistently placing new challenges before yourself and pursuing genuine growth, you sustain the motivation to keep going. You do not allow yourself to stagnate, and that ongoing striving makes your achievements more meaningful and more lasting. Dear viewers, we have now explored all 10 powerful Stoic habits that can genuinely change the quality of your life and help you address the most persistent problems you face. From developing self-control to cultivating gratitude, from practicing patience to living with honesty, these habits together form the foundation of Stoic philosophy, a foundation that can guide you toward genuine harmony and lasting success. Remember, change always begins with us. Implementing these practices will not only improve your capacity to handle difficulty, it will give you the tools to live more consciously and more fully. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on the bell so you never miss new content on Stoicism and personal growth. Share your thoughts in the comments. I am always glad to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.